So how was your weekend, buddy? The Labor Day weekend.
Still going on, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you had Friday and Saturday. It's a long weekend for some of us.
Yeah, didn't do a lot. Just actually pretty much just the usual. We do Friday. Oh, we went to yoga Friday.
That yoga instructor, huh?
Hmm?
It's that yoga instructor, huh?
Well, I mean that's a bonus, but my wife and I went to yoga.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. You could say it. Your wife's in love with the yoga instructor too.
Nah, I don't think she's her type.
Hmm. This is the hot yoga, right? This is the shit where you're like in a hot fucking room sweating, stretching.
Yeah, the evening class that my wife went to though wasn't that hot. They only do that one at like 80 degrees, 85 degrees, something like that.
That's still hot.
No, it's warm. The hot
Uh.
yoga is 100 degrees.
Okay, so this is warm yoga. Like,
Yeah.
uh, to me, it's still hot. Like, who? I don't even like working out in gyms that are more than 80 degrees. That's just too hot. It's just seems to be like 74 to 76. I think that's the good spot there.
Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, then like you get in those hot rooms and people start sweating and then they're all manky and you're. So I bet people don't even wear underwear to those things. They're just wearing like yoga pants, just free balling, free cooching. And you get the smells from the pits and the crotches and
Yeah, but if you do this regularly, though, your sweat doesn't stink like that, provided you keep up with other general hygiene. But yeah, I mean, I noticed the first several days. I mean, and again, trying to eat better and whatnot too. But the first couple days, my sweat was really nasty. But after that, it was even a different kind of feel to it. If you touch your arm or whatever after when you have different types of sweats, just icky. It's almost
yeah.
like the real sticky sweat. This was kind of like more sheen and yeah, just it kind of cleans out your sweat ducts and ducts. So
I
yeah,
yeah, that's something I'm not familiar with.
you
Especially
should try it.
especially the thing where you're saying my sweat will stink less or something of that nature. That's just interesting concept.
Well, as your body detoxifies,
Mm-hmm.
it stinks less, and when you sweat that much, your pores are working overtime, kicking out the sweat, so it's carrying away the bacterias and stuff like that cause the underarm stank and whatnot.
Okay, so you're saying the more you sweat, the more. And I guess the next question is like, what does your diet have anything to do with it? Have you
Oh,
changed your?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't changed my diet since starting going to yoga. Well, a little bit. Uh, when I started going to yoga, that was like during all the different weird meds, and yeah, and I was just lazy, so I did a lot more fast food that week. But on that note,
Uh,
I've now finally failed the last drug before I can, before my insurance company will bless me with their permission and grace to try the drug that both my neurosurgeon and GP have wanted me to take for months now.
yeah. Yeah, it's a good job there. That's outstanding. You managed to alter the chemical composition of your body successfully for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now. Good job. Proud of
Yep.
you. Hopefully, hopefully you find the one that works for you. Hopefully you find the one that
Fucking A.
kills you the slowest.
And least painfully.
Mm-hmm. Uh, so hey, Thank you everybody for tuning into the show. I'm Jake,
Oh, yep. I'm Drake.
the Jake and Drake Show, and we're not talking about his ass, but we're getting pretty close to getting there. It's hot yoga and drugs. That's
Yoga and drugs.
yoga and drugs. That sounds like a documentary on Netflix. It needs to happen with some weirdo that's just got a bunch of rich white women with too much time on their hands and taking advantage of them or something of that nature.
Dude, I, I've, I wish I had a contact at Netflix. I could come up with the craziest. Some of the shit that they have, like fuck, I could write better shit than this.
Or just, I mean, I think even Amazon, they just do stupid shit where it's like, hey, we're going to do a documentary on Pink. And I'm like, but she's not dead yet. She's still relevant. And they do that with a lot of people. And it's like, they still have a life to live. Like, they could go higher, like, they could go lower. Like, just imagine doing a documentary on O.J. Simpson before he murdered his wife and his ex-wife and her friend. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. It's like, yeah, we're going to do a documentary on this guy, and it's like that guy's like 40 years old. He's a Hollywood actor. He's gonna come out with more movies, and he's probably, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. But yeah, I feel like you could, based off of that criteria, like perhaps we could have a documentary on your life.
Yeah, you know, they do get some good stuff there on Netflix though.
Mm.
We watched a movie last night, and it was kind of campy, but it was a lot of fun. It was I'm looking up the name of it right now. I can't remember the name. Not Lollipop Chainsaw or Chainsaw Lollipop, whatever the fuck, but it's a name like that. It was Gunpowder Milkshake.
Okay.
And it was I don't know how to describe it. Kind of a female-led John Wick style movie. Lots of gratuitous violence.
Oh, is that the one that's in theaters right now?
I don't think it's in theaters.
There's one just like that. There's this Maggie Q. I don't even know who Maggie Q is, and it's got like Samuel Jackson and someone else in it, and it's like a female John Wick.
No, it is not that one. It is called let's see what the description says. 3 generations of women fight back against those who could take everything from them. Is the plot summary. It's got Carla Gugino. She is totally on my list. Karen Gillian, Lena Headey, Angela Bassett, Michelle Yeoh, and what the fuck is that guy's? Paul Giamatti. And it's done. It's kind of campy. It's kind of, I don't want to say cheesy, but definitely gratuitous violence, and worth the watch. You should watch it. Found it quite amusing.
I'm trying to think of the last couple good things I watched. Lately, I've been watching a lot of kids stuff, and not really so much the kids stuff. More so, I mean, like I don't really watch it. Maybe I watch like a couple episodes to make sure they're not brainwashing my kid or something. But there's kid movies that, and I still like. I think some people have told me way prior to me having a kid. They say, hey, you want to watch this movie? Or it's like, oh, whatever, I don't watch that movie. It's like, but you'll understand when you have kids. I still don't understand. I have a child, and I have no need to sit there and waste my time watching a movie. Like, example was like B Movie. I happened to actually see B Movie, right? That's the one with Jerry Seinfeld. Did I rewatch the movie? No. Like, that movie came out like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. It's an old movie. But
more than that, wasn't it in the 90s?
Let's see. 2007. So 14 years ago, right? So, like, example, a movie like that is pretty much what and I've seen the movie, so the good thing is I've vetted the movie. I know there's really nothing in there. At least the best of my records. You know, I just put them in the rocker and I go fucking do the art. I go pull weeds. I go fertilize. I go kill bugs in the trees. That's pretty much what I do. I really don't get to watch much. I'm trying to think of the last. I can tell you, I am waiting for Netflix to finish the documentary, not documentary, the Netflix show, or not Narcos. Oh my gosh, Ozark. Ozark's a really good series. I know you didn't like Breaking Bad, but it's like a different
I
version.
didn't dislike Breaking Bad.
That's what I said. I know you didn't. Okay, I know you didn't dislike it, but you didn't like it like I liked it, right?
No, I thought it was great, but it's kind of like a watch it once and done.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just thought it was a really great story. It was a really well written story. But yeah, there's another one. It's called Ozark.
It was frankly a really depressing series, and Walter White's a bastard.
He wasn't a bastard at the beginning, though, right? You just saw how this man had like the genuine interest of his family in mind, and it just corrupted him, and he became an evil piece of shit, right? You know what I mean? But Ozark, I highly suggest Ozark. That's a good one. That's about it's about a dude who's in he's in a trading company, and his boss is in charge of. He doesn't know it, but they're in a trading company, and the Mexican cartel is investing in their company, like laundering money essentially into that company. And the main character's boss ends up skimming from them. The cartel finds out, and they kill the guy's boss, and then they basically make this guy work for them to launder their money. And then he has to launder their money as well as make up all the money that his boss lost, or he was going to die, and his wife and 2 kids were going to die. And so essentially, I forgot. I think they started off in Chicago. It was a firm in Chicago, and then he ended up moving his family out into the middle of Missouri, like the Missouri area. I think that's where it is. Where like, because the Ozark area is Arkansas, Missouri, and they end up setting the shop up there. And there's just a series of circumstances involved with like the locals and other drug dealers, and it's just actually it's really well put together. And the season 4 ended quite a few months ago, and that finale was just like wow. And there's one more season, and it's season 5. And once you watch the first 2 episodes, it's not like some of those series where it's like, okay, it starts off slow. It starts off like boom there, and it's definitely a good one. I think I'm looking forward to that. But I really can't think for the life of me something I want to watch. I did tell to the lady I did want to go, and next weekend I want to experiment. I want to go to the movie theater, and I want to take the child to see how he does, because he could sit in front of a movie for an hour and a half. He can do that, given his circumstances are met. The diaper's changed, he's got a little bit in the tank, and you feed him throughout the rest of the movie or whatever. So I feel sorry for those other people there, but I'm not gonna give a shit, right? Just make sure you go to a kid movie. But yeah, I can't think of anything to watch. Have you do you have Netflix? Do you have Hulu? Do you have Amazon? What do you have?
All of them.
Do you have Peacock?
No.
So Peacock. What about Paramount Plus?
Do you have that one?
Well, I subscribed to Paramount Plus for a couple months, so we could catch up on Star Trek. Have you done Peacock, which is the NBC one?
I have not. No.
Okay, I will tell you. I mean, I don't even have Hulu. I had Disney Plus for a year for free. Didn't renew that. Peacock is something. After this month, I am no longer. No, it is just a shitty app. To hell with the shows, right? You could love the shows, Friends, Law and Orders, all the above.
A-Team. They just launched A-Team on Peacock, what I understand.
Really? Like the old school A-Team?
Yep.
Oh. The son loves those old shows. He loves Chips. He likes watching Chips and Knight Rider. And there's another one that comes on there. It's one of those cop drama shows, private investigator shows, Magnum PI. He loves watching those for some reason. Like low definition, shitty acting, shitty plot. Just put him in front of that, and
Do
he's
not speak ill of Magnum PI.
well. No, no, no. I actually like Magnum PI, but Knight Rider's terrible. Chips is okay. Chips is a little better, but I used to love Chips when I was a kid in the '80s. I remember watching Chips, and I loved it. And my dad was like, "Dude, that show was trash." I was like, "I don't care. It was cops on bikes, man." And then, okay, now you're in your 30s watching it. You're like, "Oh, there's so many plot holes in this. This is so lame. What did I see in it? Just cops on bikes." It was so cool. But Peacock is a very shitty app. The app itself is crap. Like navigating the menu is terrible.
Yeah.
Searching.
HBO Max is the same. HBO Max is fucking horrible.
How long have you had it?
HBO Max, several months.
Because do you actually have a? Because you used to have to get HBO Max through Amazon. Because that's how I got it to finish watching Game of Thrones.
Now you can get it standalone.
You get it standalone, so there's an app for it now.
It'd be better if it was through one of the others because fuck, their app is just garbage. It's got memory issues. I remember like scrolling through and like adding stuff to my watch list, and it would, when you go down so far, it starts taking forever to like load up a single video or a single title.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's like it's pulling it off of like an old school hard drive or something, right?
Well, yeah, it's fucking terrible, and then it crashes all the time. I mean, just today I was trying to watch the new Suicide Squad, and
wait, is that so? Because you're HBO, what is it? HBO Max, you can watch the movies in theaters now.
well, some of them
Okay.
get released on HBO Max. So Suicide Squad was one of those.
Okay.
But it leaves today, and I thought, maybe I'll watch it. And so I tried to start watching, and it crashed. And then I tried to start watching. Well, then I realized, well, shit, I've only got an hour anyway till we start recording. And so I started trying to watch, after rebooting my Roku, tried to start watching the Metalocalypse, because they're little short 10-minute episodes. And I got it started, and then in the first 3 minutes or something like that, the sound cut out and it crashed. So I said, fuck it, and rebooted the Roku again and just...
So, wait. This is on the Roku, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the woman says that the Roku works better with those apps. Like, I don't know. Like, the Peacock on the TV, on the big screen TV, is terrible, but she says it works better on the Roku in the bedroom. And that's not...
Could be.
Do you have other TVs in the house?
Yeah, we use Rokus, though. I don't use a smart TV.
Okay. Wait, when was the last time you bought a television?
It's been quite a few years.
Quite a few years?
Yeah.
Like, more than 10 years? Do you...
Probably not. Probably not more than 10.
Do you have a 4K television?
No.
Well, how do you not have a 4K television?
Don't need a 4K television.
Dude, you need a 4K television. Oh my gosh.
Dude,
Okay.
the high def shit's already bad enough.
Okay.
Like you see, you can see all the fucking blemishes and stuff on.
What are you doing? Watching porn on your television? What are you doing?
No, just fucking like if you watch news or just people reporting, you can see all that shit.
No, you can't. It's that shit. You talk about local news. That shit's in 720, bro. That shit's in 720. Like even with a 4K television and the upscaling, you really that's shitty. Like that's the first thing you realize. You get a 4K television and you watch news broadcasts. That shit is just aside from what they're telling you, it's just that
So
the
how much would a 55? No, how big is that one?
a 55 inch 4K probably like $400. Smart TV. They're that cheap now.
Are that cheap now?
Yeah.
Eh, I don't need
What I
one for
will
400 bucks.
no, what I will tell
If I
you.
had 400 bucks
Mm,
just to blow right now,
right.
I'd buy another gun,
I was gonna say ammo, but
or yeah, a box of 9 millimeter.
no, so I don't know about Hulu. I don't know about Amazon has Select. Like Amazon is just tied in with your Prime subscription, but Netflix actually has a 4K package, right? And so you have like the standard, which is I think $10. I think they raised the price, so it might be like 11.99. And then you have the high def, the HD, which is HD is 720. So HD package I think is probably like $2 more, and then the high def package or the 4K package is what I have, and that's it's like 17.99 a month, right? But it's to me it's worth it. So they do have like certain documentaries, especially nature documentaries. These are like the best ones. These are guys obviously since the inception of National
David
Geographic.
Attenborough.
Hmm?
David Attenborough. You can't compare anyone but him.
Oh sure, whatever. But you have people with like the best cameras in the world going out there taking pictures. And now at this point in life, we have people out there with the best cameras in the world, and they're out there recording animals fucking or eating each other, right? Just doing animal shit. And I remember when I got my first 4K television, and I finally got my 4K Netflix because I used to have like cable cable subscription, and then that shit just got ridiculous, so I canceled it. So I got the 4K Netflix, and Planet Earth 2 was a uh, native 4K stream, and I watched it on my 55 inch in my house, and I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. I I can't think of, aside from actual life, anything I had seen like, and at the same time, like I'm not sitting there with a drone recording 4K footage on the coast in Costa Rica or fucking Panama, and I'm not sitting there in the bushes with this fucking $1 million camera watching two monkeys groom each other and then fuck each other. But I'm watching it in my television in the comfort of my own house, probably about 12 feet away from my television, going, "Oh my god, this is beautiful." It was. Oh, I'm going to tell you. And then when I went a step further, am I trying to sell you a 4K television? Yes, I am. But they have the smart TVs. They have apps built into them, so you get on the YouTube and you type in 4K aquarium, and there's people that'll take a 4K camera and just record their aquarium, and then I put that on there, and it will keep my cats busy for like an hour because they'll just be sitting there, and they don't mind. I don't know about yours, but they'll like paw at the screen, no claws. You know, they have claws, but they don't use them. They're just like, oh my gosh, because they think it's real. And then you put the birds on there where there's another dude that has a channel where he just puts bird seed on a picnic table and sets a camera there. And you have birds coming up, flying in, flying out, sound and everything, squirrels coming up, eating, getting out. And
Yeah,
it's
that's a good way for me to break my TV.
with your cats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then here's one better. Then here's a 4K dog channel. And one of them is this guy who takes his dogs on walks through Scotland, and he's got it on like a 4K GoPro. And one of the dogs just sits there, sitting and staring at the television. Just could sit there for hours if it was an hour long plus. It's incredible. I really think if you get your tax monies back, I get it. You want to buy another gun, totally. I just think that's a solid investment, just because, especially now with probably the amount of time that you spend at home recuperating, like I think you would appreciate it, especially when you find out that you have some programming on Amazon that is 4K, because you can actually go and search by 4K, and then if you have the 4K package on Netflix. I don't know about Hulu, like I said, I don't know about Hulu, but I really think you should I think it's time for the Drake family to upgrade their television.
Eh, I don't know. We eventually we'll probably upgrade and do a shuffle because my wife's old TV, which is still has high def and all that shit, is we have that in the bedroom, but the sound on it is just horrible,
Hmm.
and it really bothers me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You know, when it's time, I'll take that one into my office and move the one in the living room to the bedroom, and then but that one's only, I think that one's only a 50-inch something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember what size they all are. Honestly, I don't. I've been kind of avoiding watching TV lately, and more often than not, I'll like just I'll go on YouTube and throw on some music and just leave it on. So I'm not really watching anything.
You say you just mean TV in general, or you mean like stuff outside of streaming, like public television?
Stuff out. I mean, TV in general, I guess, because I don't know. I don't watch that much streaming.
Yeah, I actually let me go back. So you said you had HBO Max, right?
Yep.
So I remember what it was. It was HBO Go is what I had. HBO Go was a thing I had.
You had it. You was the app that you used when you had a HBO subscription,
Are you
or like through cable TV or whatever.
well? The thing I'm trying to think of the thing I had through Amazon because, like I said, I'd never downloaded an HBO app, and when I was in the last season,
That could have been. You could have gotten an HBO Go upgrade. They changed that. I'm not sure. I think when they were launching HBO Max, and then rebranded everything to be HBO Max or something like that.
hmm, okay, so there is no more HBO Go. It's all HBO Max.
I believe so.
Okay, all
But
right.
the HBO Go app was great. HBO Max, I don't know why they didn't just take that, rebrand it, and turn it loose.
See, that's what I mean, as someone that didn't have any of them, I thought there was two separate ones. It would make sense because HBO Go, essentially, HBO Go would just be whatever's on HBO, and that's it. And then HBO Max would be okay, you get whatever's on HBO, but um, you're paying more of a premium, and because we've gotten out of going to movie theaters, you can watch it in movie theaters on night because that's how I thought that's what it was. Just until I talked to you just now. That's really. And in fact, let me just check this out real quick. HBO Go versus HBO Max versus HBO Now. Oh, okay. So HBO Max replaced HBO Now and HBO Go, and it costs $15 a month. Is that how much you pay?
Something like that.
$14.99. Does Cinemax and Stars and all them have their own apps too? Because this is getting out of
I don't
control.
know. I know.
This is okay. Here's what I will say. I think the good of this is, essentially, if you wanted to, because remember how cable used to be. This was ridiculous. You just you paid this huge fee, and you got all these channels, and you probably didn't watch a lot of the channels, right? And that being said, like you pay $100 a month, and then that's just for the subscription, and then you pay a little bit for their box, and if you had internet, you paid a little bit, whatever, right? You just paid for it, and you got all these channels, and you probably watched like five of them, because I know this is the last time I watched ESPN at the time. I watched IDTV, which is pretty much the murder channel, and I watched occasionally Cartoon Network because they had Adult Swim. and I was paying $140 at the end of my contract because they give you 2 years introductory price of like 120, and then after that they jack it up to 140, which I was like, whoa, 140, that's a lot of money. 120 wasn't, but 140 is a lot. And I was like, I only watch 3 channels. Can you package those 3 channels for me? They're like, I'm sorry, we can't. I was just like, all right, well, deuces. But now, like HBO Go or is it HBO Go? Yeah, HBO Go was like $5.99 a month on Amazon when I was watching Game of Thrones season 8, and HBO Max is now $15 a month. So if I had HBO Max, that's $15, and I had Netflix, and that's essentially $18. So we're up to $33. Amazon Prime, Amazon Video is tied in together, but you could put some kind of value to that. Like, it's a streaming service, so let's just say $10. So now you're at like $43 a month. And let's just say I had the Disney, Hulu, ESPN package, which I think that's like 20 something. So we're already over 60 something dollars. And you're only getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like six channels. You're almost getting to the point with these streaming services that you'd be better off getting the cable box or the satellite package to watch.
Or just, you know, acquiring the shows another means.
Dude, but here, okay, one more thing, and I'll get off this topic. But so Netflix, commercial free. Amazon, commercial free. Hulu, okay. When I first did Hulu, this was back in like 2000. It's like 2010 or 11. I bought Hulu. It was free for like 2 months, and then I subscribed to it for $10 a month. $10 a month back in, and only reason I got Hulu was because I wanted to watch The Simpsons. I didn't have television; I just had internet connection. So I would watch The Simpsons, and I go back and watch like all the Simpsons episodes I wanted to. But if I wanted to watch current Simpsons episodes, I could not watch a Simpsons episode. Like, they come out on Sundays. I couldn't watch them until Wednesday. Like, that's when I could watch them. And even still, I had to watch ads in between. And it was just like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck? So, all right, scratch that. I canceled my Hulu. We got Paramount Plus.
Or you could upgrade and get the ad-free Hulu.
But why? Right. Exactly. That's the point. So when the first time I got Paramount Plus, it was for the first season of the new Discovery and Picard. It was $5.99. It was the same as HBO Go, and it was cool. Actually, Picard had 1 season and Discovery had 2, so it was fine. Now they came out with Discovery season 3. Like after we watched those, I canceled it. So they came out with Discovery season 3. We didn't watch it right away, and then we're just like, all right, well, let's get it again. So we shell out. I open up the thing. I'm like, let's order it, and it's like $5.99, and you get commercials, or pay another $2 and get commercial free. And I'm just thinking about, what is going on here? What is going on here? Like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. I don't know. We went from, I mean, because I guess I'm just spoiled with Netflix and Amazon Prime, where there's just no commercials, essentially. You know, and I will say that some of the some of the Netflix ones, I think Netflix does a lot better job of producing shit internally than Amazon Studios does. But some of their shit is just as good as the shit you watch from the major networks. It really is. Especially their documentaries and their nature stuff. I don't know. If you sat there and analyzed all the streaming services you had, which one do you watch the most?
Probably Hulu.
Why Hulu? What's on Hulu? I don't have it, so tell me about it. Sell me Hulu, sir.
It's got the programs I usually watch, the dumb shit I watch at night, like the going to bed stuff.
Yeah, but like, what is it? Is
Letterkenny, Archer.
Archer's on Hulu?
Archer's on Hulu.
Okay.
And Rick and Morty. plus a bunch of other shit. But
I heard from a person somewhat reliable. If you used a VPN, like if you watched Rick and Morty on your laptop or your desktop and you used a VPN, you can get Rick and Morty off of Netflix.
hmm,
Like if you
uh-huh.
set up your IP.
Although I have read something that Netflix is cracking down on VPN use, and they're like going out and actively getting these subscriptions and getting the IPs of the VPN, different VPN companies, and are blocking them because of those people are using them to get around shit.
I wonder if that's legal.
Of course it is.
It's legal for Netflix to tell you that's about as legal as Netflix telling you what ISP you can use. Essentially, right? You have your internet connection comes in from your ISP, and then you shoot out to your ISP and connect to a VPN, and that VPN connects to the server that you're trying to connect to, right? That's how it works. So essentially, that server becomes like a secondary, internet service provider, right? Because the purpose of the VPN is just to kind of shadow where the hell you're accessing the internet from. Because essentially,
Hmm.
like, right, like I could look up how to destroy the government in 5 easy steps. That shows up on Comcast. Comcast will readily give that information to the federal government, and I will be arrested where I sit here and do a podcast versus I beam it to some server that says I'm in England looking how to destroy the. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. I didn't know that. That's weird. I don't know. I don't even have a VPN. I don't even have a VPN program. Oh,
You should.
I should. This
Absolutely.
this is where you plug one of the VPNs you're using.
Mm, no. I mean, I use VPN Unlimited just because I was able to get it early on and had like have got a lifetime membership for like $50 or something like that.
Really? Lifetime?
Yep,
I'm looking
for
at it
three
now.
devices.
I'm looking at it right now.
But
Lifetime is now $200.
there you go.
Interesting. You don't game on a VPN, right?
Nope, no.
Have you tried though?
Well, no, actually I haven't. But I mean, it doesn't get terrible. There's more latency. I mean, the download speeds and stuff are fairly quick, but there's a lot more latency. So I wouldn't really game on it unless I'm doing single player, a single player game that you have to be online because that's what all the companies are doing now, and it's fucking bullshit. So I haven't really gamed in a long time either.
I did see since I got my new computer set up that you were on Division 2 within the week.
I
Like
was on Division 2 2 weeks ago,
I
and
said,
we
I said within the week. So I don't know. It said that you were online. Like nobody was online. I was the only one online. Chow Kai hadn't been online in like 3 days, right? I don't know. But you had been online recently, I guess is what I should say. Within a week, plus or minus a couple days. Are we playing that game
like a
anymore?
week. Now I'm waiting for them to. I'm waiting for them to drop the new content.
Is anybody on that game anymore?
I still plays.
No, I mean like in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But we had an old like clan reunion, so to speak.
what do you mean?
someone had um someone had was taking a break from Destiny in between their um seasons, I guess, or whatever, and he came back, was like, "Oh yeah, we should get together. We should do a division night and run the raids or do this or that." And we didn't have enough to do the regular raids, so we just did the basic raids, but we six-manned them. So,
Did dude, Pineapple hadn't been on there in like months.
nope, nope.
Wonder what? Wonder
She's
what?
busy working.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think she's trying to working hard to build up her design business so she can quit her job.
Oh. Okay. So people basically hop from Division 2 to Destiny 2? That's what they do?
Do they?
I don't know. It's what
Um,
that's cuz a lot of people that play Division 2 play Destiny.
it's a similar play style. Um, in a lot of ways, the loot and shoot
Mhm.
or shoot and loot. And I know that before the expansion came out, the New York expansion came out, we did um, we as a clan we went and we played Destiny while we were waiting.
So you guys played Destiny. What about that? What about that other game you guys played? Ghost Recon. Did people still play that?
Some of us played a little bit, but not really. Honestly, dude, I haven't done much gaming at all, and don't pay that close attention to Discord anymore and other priorities, man.
Mm, I feel that. I feel that, dude. I will tell you, the way it goes now with my schedule is depending on if I have to be at work early. Depends on whether or not I stay up late with the baby. Oh, excuse me. So normally, if I don't have to be at work early, just normal time, or I have the day off, I stay up late and I keep him company. Like, he sleeps in a crib now, and I got the baby monitor right here at my desk, and then I play Call of Duty. It's pretty much what I do. And then I go to bed about 5 or 6 in the morning, take a nap, and I get up probably about anywhere from noon to 1, and I start my day off that way. That's on days off. Days I got to work, I go to bed a little bit earlier, and I wake up at 9, and I get to work by 9:30 or 10. But days I got to be to work early, I go to bed early, and she just has to she just has to suck it up. It's like, dude, this is me, my back against the wall, just trying to give you as much sleep as you can get. But I have actually found the excuse to play, because before that I had to stop playing video games a lot. I really did. So now with him sleeping somewhat throughout the night and me being on call, oh, that's what I do. Otherwise, if I go to sleep, because I have done this thing where I go to sleep and I just try to sleep and wake up when he wakes up and go to sleep. The problem with that is if I wake up and I'm just cranky, so he's crying and screaming, and I'm just, there's the bottle, here's the burp, go back to bed. Whereas if you catch, if you catch him when he starts waking up, he's like, versus, wah, you can get it back to bed a lot easier. You can get it back to bed, so I just stay up. And plus, when the baby wakes up, I'm just a lot more like, yeah, you're awesome. You're doing a good job. Go back to sleep, fucker. But dude, we need to find a video game and play together. We really do. We need to find something to play. What's your schedule like? What's it like? What time you getting up? What time you going to bed?
It's just I don't have that urge to play it. I mean, I got fuck, what's it called? Um, Far Cry 5. And it was on sale, so I got that and all the expansions for like $15.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a fun, amusing one. And a buddy of mine, every so often when we were, like, hey, let's game. So I'd jump into his world and we'd run around and shoot things up. But in general, it's just doesn't have the same appeal. I've got other shit to work on, and I've got gun projects. I've got I could be tinkering on a gun or jamming on the bass or whatever.
I got a
And
I got a I got a project for you when you're done. I got a project for you, gun wise.
what's that?
I need a specific part. Um, it's just a foregrip. I'm having a hard time finding it.
What kind of foregrip?
It's a vertical foregrip with a bipod, with a deployable bipod. And
Those are so stupid.
well, why are they stupid?
They just are. Go on.
Well, entertain me. Why are they stupid? Talk me out of it.
Because if you're gonna have a bipod on your rifle,
Hmm.
then if you're that concerned about accuracy, then you should make it a dedicated precision rifle.
Well, no, it's like there's two reasons I want a bipod, and one is just to zero the weapon. Like so, I want to buy a
You wouldn't want
box.
to use a bipod. You'd want to use a stand. But go on.
I want to use a stand. Like I'm just going to the range and
Or like a bench rest
I
type
don't
thing.
I don't want to buy a bench rest though. Like I want something that essentially I can take anywhere and zero it anywhere. Like that's I mean, you know how we do it in the military, right? We don't have stands. How do we zero our weapons? Well, we zero them from sandbags. You rest your rifle on a sandbag, and that's how you zero it, right? We don't have so the next best thing to a sandbag is a bipod. Now, I looked at putting a bipod on it, and the problem with the bipod is, folding the bipod. Like, cause I have a bipod on my hunting rifle, right? And that's nice, just boom, and it folds, right? Swivels, beautiful. But at the same time, you want the weapon for tactical purposes, right? So you want the rifle for tactical purposes, and you just want to be able to boom, 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 boom. But you don't want the bipod there too, because now you just have you have more weight, you have more shit in the way, and so essentially, I'm not going to use the bipod for anything except zeroing. Okay, and to be honest, a 5.56 weapon, I wouldn't use that as my precision rifle. I would not use that as my precision. I need to hit a target from 500 meters out. Like that's not what I would do with it. But that's all I want it for. I just want. I'm at the range. I want to zero it. I don't want to. I don't want to bench. I can lay prone. I could sit at a table and do it. I want to do more than just hold it like this. But I do want a foregrip, and I was thinking an angled. I really was, but I was looking at it and how it's set up, and because I was looking at all of them. Then they have like that finger one where you can grab up here, And then I was looking at a lot of things, and I was thinking a vert grip was going to be the best one, because a vert grip you can push it up against something, right? You can put that vert grip up against a solid structure and use it as well as a bracing.
$20 on Amazon.
Here's the kicker. It has to have an M lock, so it can't be a Picatinny rail. So it has to be an M-lock vertical grip with a bipod. And I looked for 1.5 hours. And
Why don't you just use a small M-lock Picatinny piece?
see, this is where you come in. I don't know. I had a guy do a bunch of free work on one of my rifles, and he gave, he was like, oh, okay. He was trying to sell me this stuff, and I was just like, I mean, I understand you paid that amount of money for those prices, but I'm not getting them brand new. I just kind of, in my head, I was like, I'm not getting them brand new. It's not necessarily what I wanted. Like, obviously, this is what I like. This is what you like. So this is more your thing. So eventually, he said, hey, man, I'll put the stuff on your weapon, and I'll kit it out for, he said $80. So I gave him $100, and he gave me an M-lock rail He gave me like a nice little flashlight thing on there, and he changed out like the slide. He changed out the slide. So normally the slide has like a grip on it that you grip, and then like this one you just pull. So it's nice and smooth. And he gave me like a custom ejection port cover, and he changed out. He did a lot of shit to it, and I gave him $100 for it. You know what I mean? So the only thing he didn't give me was the grip. He said I would have put in the grip too, but you like your weapon all blacked out, and this is a tan grip. And I was just like, dude, you did more than enough. So he gave me at least the option of looking for a grip. But the problem is I was like, what grip do I want? Do I feel I really don't feel like shooting a weapon this way, you know? Do I want an angle grip? Do I want a vert grip? What do I want? And I was like, you know what? I just want a vert grip. I can brace with it. I can hold it. I can bring it up, you know, went through the motions. But I want one with a bipod, and I want one with an M-lock, because the barrel cover he gave me was an M-lock. It wasn't a Picatinny. So I didn't know. Is there an adapter that I can buy, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, like if you needed to mount a flashlight or something that's just got the Picatinny stuff. There's the whole thing about M-lock or key mod or HK mod or whatever. They're all just mounting systems, and more often than not, you're going to need the Picatinny for whatever piece you've got. So just, yeah, okay, here. So that grip was $20, and you can get a M-lock Picatinny rails accessory set for $12.99 Prime. Free delivery Thursday, September 9th, if you order within 3 hours and 56 minutes.
Oh man, no,
and it comes in
3 different colors.
5 sizes.
Oh, 5 sizes.
You can pick the one that's closest to the grip size and just mount it on there, and you're good to go.
And you have experience with that?
Like mounting it?
Well, mounting different
I weep for our army. What the fuck, man?
Whoa. We only deal with Picatinny, dude. What do you want me to tell you? Like, that's...
Oh, my God.
What do you mean? What? You should be weeping for our army for other reasons, not the fact that, like... I mean, dude, you understand, right? Like, you understand that the army, even though it is the defenders of the Constitution... There are criteria, right? Like, the army pays people to think, and it pays people to do things. At a certain point, if you go far enough, you can choose to become a thinker, or you could choose to just stay a doer. Now, in my line of work, there's things that I choose to think about, and there's things I just choose to do. So when it comes to like training like that, if they tell me this is how we react to contact, this is how, we exfil, this is how we do this is how we set up this and do this. Like, I don't really put much thought into it. I didn't go to a war college. I don't sit there and listen to things on YouTube and whatever. I don't. Like, now when there's other things. You
need a screwdriver, or you need like a hex wrench set, and that's it. You're good to go.
Yeah, but like, what I'm asking you is, have you used these? Because it seems like to me...
I don't use M-lock. I use key mod. But they all function the same. You stick the piece into the slot, and you turn the screw.
But let me answer this. So you use key mod. So wouldn't you go out of your way so far as to, exhaust all resources to find a key mod for a particular attachment that you wanted? Or is the first thing you go to is, I'm going to find the cheapest one I can get on Amazon and then find the adapter for it?
No, my go-to would be actually quad rail. But when I don't have that option, then I go with Picatinny, and then I go with the M-lock, and I throw the Picatinny rails on them.
Mm-hmm. That just seems like it just... To me, from an engineering standpoint, which I have no experience in, but when you have to sit there and adjust from one thing to another, maybe just to put one thing on, like the structural soundness of that thing remaining attached or being 100% useful just doesn't sit right with me. You know what I mean? Like if you had to get an attachment to go, like, let's say you have an M-LOK rail and it's a Picatinny piece, and then you have to get a Picatinny to M-LOK. So now you have this grip which is going to lock onto the Picatinny, but you have to take that fucking Picatinny part and M-LOK it onto the rail first, and then so now you have 2 points of failure instead of 1 point of failure. And of course, like jumping up, jumping down, wiggling, there's a lot more stress on that tiny little piece versus if you just actually had that attachment on the barrel itself. Now it becomes on that nut itself, or that polymer, or that plastic, or that aluminum, whatever that is. So what I'm asking you is, if you had your thing, you had your quad rail, or you had your HK lock, or your whatever lock you were talking about, wouldn't you try to exhaust all your resources to find that particular attachment with the exact rail, key for it? Or is you're just kind of looking for the price point, or the easeability of just finding it and getting it out of the way, purchasing it and putting it on the gun and moving on with your life?
No, my personal recommendation is quad rail all the time. Period.
All the time.
Story.
Okay. So quad rail.
Fuck Keymod, fuck M-LOK. Those are more often aftermarket civilian stuff, and if I was going to have an actual rifle intending to take it into battle, it would be quad rail all the way.
Hold on a second. Let me... Yeah, quad rail is what I thought it was. Quad rail is just basically a Picatinny on 4 sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The last rifle I had, the last one I had, because I haven't had one issued from the Army in quite some time, had a quad rail. But before that, it was Picatinny. There was one on the top, and there was one on the bottom. So that's technically not a quad rail. That would be a dual Picatinny, right? That's what you would call it.
Something like that.
Yeah. No, I would go with a quad rail all the way. This is just, I got it for free, and I was looking at the prices of rails, and I was just blown away. And our mutual friend from the show, I was talking to him about glass and stuff, and he reminded me.
Douchebag?
No, Sean.
Oh, okay.
No, you're thinking of...
The douchebag brother.
Yes. But, I mean, he's not a douchebag, man. He doesn't think the same as you do. He doesn't think the same as I do. He's a...
ignorant fuck. But go on.
God damn, dude. But at any rate, yeah. I'm just like, well, why the fuck am I going to pay so much for a goddamn rail? And then I just thought about it, and I'm like, well, there's probably a reason. There's probably... Because there's a lot of shit on Amazon that you can buy for dirt cheap, and I really have a hard time pulling the trigger. Which country is it made in? How long am I going to, get any use out of it? Stuff like that. I don't know. But I think...
shit, if I was at the shop... Well, no, you only had Keymod stuff. I was going to say, if I was still at the shop, I'd just grab a handful and ship them to you. I might even have some pieces floating around. None of them, never mind. None of them will be for M-LOK.
No. Like, so the M-LOK shit is on my 15, my M4. But I still want to do shit to my 10. So the 10, I think I'm going to go... I was going to go with Picatinny just because there were... But I could just get a quad rail and I could pretty much do anything. Like, on the AR-10, it's such a bigger weapon. And it's such a bigger... Everything on that thing is bigger. Like, that would be the one that I put a dedicated bipod on. That would be the one that, but I just wanted simply a vert grip with a bipod that drops out. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted. But I'll look into that. Picatinny to M-Lock or whatever. Is there any particular? Is there a particular brand that you kind of lean towards as far as accessories, or is there a particular material? Do you like aluminum? Do you like polymer?
Honestly, I got really fucking spoiled because I could just had free range at the shop. I was like, hey, Rick, can I, I need a blah blah blah. I was like, go grab them from the bin, and he made them in the shop, so you know. But yeah, no, not really. I don't have any particular other brands. Um, they're all pretty much exactly the fucking same,
Mm-hmm.
as long as they're cut to spec.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Slapping the name Magpul or Fab Defense or Knights Industries or whatever isn't gonna make a piece of aluminum stronger. It's just whatever fucking type of aluminum they use.
Right. Mm.
Though I would happily take a Knights quad rail. Those are pretty hardy.
Yeah, it was was it Knights or Knights Defense or something like that?
It was a Knight. If you from the military, it was probably a Knights.
Okay.
I think they had the contract. But I've got the quad rail that I've got on my longer upper is SIG, because it's on a whole SIG piston upper, and then I've got the key mod for the other ones because they were free, and I just slap the rail quad rail, locked on, use the key mod to lock down the Picatinny for where I needed it.
Wow.
The one thing I do like about that though is of the M-Lock or key mod is because it is smaller, is smaller for your hand. That said, I if I was building a battle rifle that was going to get beat up and possibly go sliding down mountains or dropped out of planes and shit, I'd definitely go quad rail.
Wait, what do you mean smaller for your hands, or what? Like,
Oh, it doesn't have the raised rail there, so when it sits more ergonomically in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean,
okay.
take your M-Lock, and then imagine rails down the sides and on the bottom.
Right. I can imagine that. I just.
I mean, shit, man, you use that. So
I
just
did, but
think about how it was holding the quad rail,
yeah.
and how that felt in your hand versus how the M-Lock feels in your hand. It's smaller.
It's sleeker. I will say definitely the
Yeah.
quad rail just digs into your.
And you can get covers and stuff for those pieces, and if you're so inclined.
Right.
But,
yeah. You could definitely customize the hell out of those things, I will say.
But yeah, if you're building an actual battle rifle, quad rail all the way. If you're building one for a competition, 3-gun or whatever, then do all the stuff to make it as lightweight as possible, and all that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good looks. Huh. You have any projects you want to talk about, or?
Not really.
Maybe tell me about this guy then, because this guy just stays shopping, right? So he's a guy I work with. Play Call of Duty with him too. Pretty cool guy. They just had a baby 2 days ago. He and his wife.
Still want to go shopping at your work. Go on.
Still want to. So it's funny is because he basically he had two AR-15s, and he had the 9mm. He made like a 9mm AR pretty much. And I asked him, I was like, why that?
With the Glock mags and all that.
I don't know who the mags are from. I just know he did most of his stuff with. I can't even tell you off the top of my head. He bought a lot of his parts from like the same place, and I don't know if he just does a lot of research or if he's just reading. So I don't know. I even went to his house, and I went to I've been to his house a couple times. Watched like some fights. Drink from his bar. A couple parties. Like I've been there like 4 times, and I went back there, and he showed me his little bench that he has set up, and he's got like a vise on there. He was showing me some shit. It was kind of cool. Dimly lit room, very clean room, by the way. The only thing in there is the gun bench. So it was just like, it's the only thing you have in here. There's nothing else in here, just carpet and walls. So, but yeah, he built a 9mm AR, shot that was kind of fun, and he has 2 AR-15s, and I said, why do you have 2 AR-15s? And he gave me some reason. I was just like, whatever, dude. Because he also, like, on one of them, he has just a hollow, and then the other one, he has the hollow with the flip. So, like, I think it magnifies it, like, 3 or 2 or 3. And
usually, I think they're usually 3 times.
Mm-hmm. So, I was like, well, dude, why don't you just...
You're talking about the magnifier, right?
Yeah, the magnifier. So there's the hollow, and it sits off to the side, and then you flip the magnifier, and then you know what I mean. It's like, why do you have 2 of the same gun, essentially. And so we went to the range, and he shot my AR-10, and I think he liked it, and so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna build an AR-10. And I was like, hey, right on, dude. Then he's like, hey man, I need help selling my gun. I was like, oh, okay. So I just sent him up. It's like, send me some pictures and tell me what your asking price is. So I had him basically sell that gun within 4 days. That gun was sold, and it was another guy that works on our vehicles bought it. So then he turned around and he built the AR-10. Still hasn't shot it yet. And then for some fucking reason, he decided he wanted to build a 300 Blackout. So he built a 300 Blackout. And I haven't seen the finished product. I saw it when he was still waiting on the pieces to come in. And 300
Blackouts are nice. It's a nice round.
It's a subsonic round. They're very expensive. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Just tell me why I should have a 300 Blackout. Like, if
you don't necessarily need a 300 Blackout, but if you're gonna have a suppressed rifle, they're fucking great, and they're as far as the calibers for home defense, I would say a suppressed 300 Blackout is probably your best choice.
That's the thing, though, is like, now when you talk about like home defense, I think I think you should just use a shotgun or a handgun, really. But
all right, Biden.
Well, no, dude, like, how long? So from the barrel's 16 inches, right? And then you add a suppressor.
Do it as a pistol.
Can you legally do it as a pistol? Well, he did do it as a
pistol. For 300 Blackout, I think the barrel lengths you want are between 8 and 10 inches. Is where you get the maximum.
Oh, you know what? I think he did get the suppressor because he was telling me that he had to apply for the tax stamp or something. I'd have to go back and check my messages, but I think he did. But yeah, so he finished building. He finished building that thing. I haven't seen it yet. He hasn't shot it yet. Still hasn't shot the 10. Still hasn't shot the 300 Blackout. And now he's talking about building a 6.5. But the thing is, like, my hunting rifle was a 6.5, and he shot that.
See, what he should do is just build a 6.5 upper for his 10.
Yeah, he could do
that. And then
that.
all he needs to do is just swap off the upper.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's a lot cheaper. However, I mean, if you're really in the thick of shit. I don't know if
Thing
you.
is, make sure he marks his fucking magazines. That's the most important, most critical takeaway I can give you
The thing
is
is, like,
mark the fucking magazines. Let me see if I can find that picture.
he could. Well, even with the 300 blackout, he didn't have to build a whole rifle. He could have just changed upper receivers between that and the AR-15.
Right.
So, but I mean, yeah, it is. I think he's just gonna build the whole thing. So he does a lot of projects. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know his finances. I don't question his finances. He builds guns. Occasionally, I buy guns, and every now and then I upgrade my computer and start a whiskey library. So I mean, we all have our vices. But all right, I'm looking for this picture. I'm waiting. We're anxiously awaiting this picture, but I did. While I wait on that picture, I say we I so I went and I blacked out my entire case. So I used to have like that full RGB unicorn vomit shit going on in my computer, and all I did was I replaced the motherboard, I replaced the processor, and I replaced the graphics card. I cleaned out all the cat litter because like this room used to just be full of cat litter because my cats used to be locked up in here, but now they're not. And I moved the litter boxes downstairs in the garage, so all the litter boxes are in there. But I cleaned it out, and it is just so nice. I'll be honest, so nice as far as performances, like the new graphics card, the new processor, the new motherboard. But it is also just nice looking at my computer, and it is just clean. Like there's hardly any dust in it. Okay.
Always mark your mags, kids. That is a 300 blackout trying to push through a 5.56 barrel because the customer did not mark his mags.
How similar do the rounds look? Like if you looked at the magazine, they don't look that similar, right?
They don't. But mark your magazines.
I look at a picture real quick. Uh, well, yeah, it's smaller. Yeah,
It's basically
they're,
it's a
go ahead,
neck
sir.
down 5.56 is what the 300 blackouts are.
Yeah,
So you use same bolt. Basically, everything's the same on a standard AR-15 except the barrel. Use the same magazines. Use the same bolt and carrier. Everything is exactly the same except the barrel.
right.
And this was one that a customer had brought in that had blown up.
Well, so somebody actually did the next step, and they took the actual bullet out of the casing, and that bullet is significantly bigger. I would
Oh
say
yeah,
probably about.
it's a 30 caliber bullet in a neck up 5.56 shell.
Yeah.
That's how the original ones were made. It was like a novelty round. 300 Whisper is what they're originally called, and
Yeah, it looks like the grain wise, it looks like I mean just ballparking it. That bullet looks like it weighs about 25% more mass wise. Like I mean, obviously, I'd probably say 30% more. 30% more weight. No, I'd probably say more than that. What's that next one?
it was marketed to be like the replacement, so they could use basically the AR carbines, but like the MP5s,
Mm-hmm.
because you can have a shorter barrel and it still retains this velocity
Mm-hmm.
versus like you see like that barrel is I don't remember, it was like an 8-inch barrel or something like that on a fucking 5.56. That's dumb. because you end up losing so much of the power and velocity behind it.
Okay, so wait, run that by me again.
The shorter the barrel, okay. So when a cartridge goes, you cartridge is struck, the primer explodes, igniting the powder, and as that powder burns, the bullet is pushing the bullet out of the barrel or through the barrel. If your barrel is 3 inches long, it's going to exit the barrel before it's reached its peak velocity because of the amount of powder or the length of time it takes for the powder to burn.
Mm-hmm.
So having anything shorter than like 10.5 inches on a 5.56, you're not going to get to the power where it really should be.
Okay, makes a little bit of sense. Yeah.
So
You're talking about
however,
the length of the time, right? So the difference between 0 and 10 inches and 0 to 16 inches. Or
just ask your woman, man.
ask her what? She doesn't know shit about guns.
About 10 inches versus 16 inches.
Bro, if I had a 10-inch dong, I wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't be settling down having kids. Just probably, I'll be honest, knowing me, I'd probably just be out there. I probably had HIV. Probably would have died like 10 years ago. But no, I totally get what you're saying. So what you're saying with the 300 blackout is
That's why it took me 40 years to settle down and get married.
because you have a 10-inch dick.
No, it ain't 10 inch, but we don't need to talk about my dick. Anyhow.
Does your barrel still? No, kidding. No, so explain to me with the 300 blackout, like why you want a shorter barrel. That's what you were going with, right?
It'll reach those velocities in a shorter amount of time.
Okay.
So you can work with like an 8 to 10 inch barrel and still have the same stopping power as if you had it longer. You know, once the powder burns, it's no longer pushing the bullet. The bullet's traveling on its own. Eventually, it's going to be diminishing returns on the length of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you see people who make these, you know, the AR pistols that have like 6, 7 inch barrels. That is just dumb.
Well, I've always said it was dumb, not because of those reasons. I just said, well, why would you?
Now the like the 9mm ones, you can you know do that because they've got a much even shorter time to that velocity. So, you know, in a case like that, having a 6 inch barrel is fine. So, like if you made your buddy who made the 9mm one, was it a shorter? I'm assuming pistol.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. It was. I don't know. We gotta probably like the kid is screaming. God damn it! I really hate this. Like, we gotta wrap this stuff up really fast.
Well, it is that time.
Yeah, it is.
Where's your woman?
Downstairs.
She can't address things for an hour and a half.
She's downstairs. At any rate, give us the final word, sir. As awkward as this ending is.
always mark your mags.
Okay.
Always mark your magazines.
Yes.
And taxation stuff.
And anything on HBO Go, Max, Hulu, Netflix, Prime, Paramount.
Oh yeah, that Gunpowder Milkshake on Netflix was pretty fucking good.
All right, Gunpowder.
It was a real fun movie, and I hope they do a sequel to it. Although Carla Gugino died. Oh shit. Well, whatever.
All right, man. Well, I am going to have to sign off, unfortunately. I gotta go take care of my child. What did you call him? Crotch seeds?
Crotch fruit.
Fruit. Crotch fruit. But, yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. Can you not hear him screaming, by the way?
Periodically. It is not enough to set off your voice activation. But,
right, yeah. Good
when
job
you're talking,
on my
I can
part.
hear it in the background.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week. If you could, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, or dislike. Share the video. And with that being said...
Send me guns.
What's up? Send you guns?
Send me guns.
Send dudes?
Send me guns.
Send
gun
guns?
parts.
Send dudes? Send guns? Send ammo? If you send me anything, send me ammo. But, because, you know, I could use the ammo more than I could use more guns. But alright, we're gonna get out of here because of my child. I love him dearly, so I'm gonna go put him to bed. I'm gonna go show this woman how it's done, just like I did yesterday and the day before. Alright, we'll see you guys next week, and until then, y'all take care. Have a good one.